Hey, it's me again. I, I wanted to talk to you about a story in the Bible. There was this time that Jesus was coming to this town, right? And this dude named Jairus decided that he wanted to get a hold of Jesus because he wanted him to come to his house to heal his dying daughter. So Jesus agrees to go with him and follow him to the house. He said, okay, I got you, we good. So he follows Jairus to his house, on his way to the house. But while he was in town, on another side of town, there was another woman, a woman that was a fragile woman that was going through a crisis in her own life. She was dying, and one of the reasons she was dying because she was losing a lot of blood. She was bleeding a lot, and she decided that I've tried everything else, but I'm going to go find this man Jesus and see if I can get him to heal me. If I can't do anything but just touch his clothes, then I know I'll be made whole. So she leaves and goes out and finds the crowd where Jesus is as he's going to Jairus' house. And while she's going out there, I can imagine that the people in the town knew her condition because she's been having this situation for like 12 years. And while she's going to the town, I can imagine that the people said, no, you can't come around. Get away, man. Don't be touching me. Things of that sort. But she still presses through because when you get in desperate situations, you'll do desperate things. So while she's pressing through, the people would say, no, get away from me because of the Mosaic law. When a woman was going through that kind of situation, she was considered to be unclean. So they were not going to touch her. She could not touch people. People could not touch her. You could not even touch what she touched because you would be considered unclean. So anyway, she was still desperate. As she was pressing through the crowd, and I imagine the people that were pushing her out of the way said, no, you can't be touching me. Get away from me. And instead of pushing her away, and she was in a weakened state, more than likely they were pushing her towards Jesus instead of away from him. See, sometimes you have people that are in the way and you're trying to get to your destiny that God has for you, and they're pushing on you. You're thinking they're pushing you away, but actually God is creating circumstances that they're doing to you that's going to push you closer to him. So as she presses through the crowd trying to get to Jesus, she got close enough where she was able to reach out and just touch his clothing. Not grab it, not pull it, but just touch. And the Bible tells us immediately as that happened, that she was healed right then. Now, Jesus stopped in the middle of the crowd, and asked what we consider to be one of the dumbest questions, and asked the folk, wait a minute, who touched me? Now, Peter. The disciples were with him. I can imagine Peter standing there talking to him like, Peter was straight gangster. Peter was straight hood. He'll say what's on his mind and go on by his business. And I can see like, Jesus, really? Are you serious? Who touched you? All these folks out here about to knock you down, pushing on you and pulling on you, and you ask who touched you? He said, yeah, somebody touched you. He said, how you know? Because I felt the power leave me. Something left me. So the woman couldn't hide anymore, and as Jesus was trying to figure out who it was that touched her, she finally admitted to the fact it was me. I can imagine that the crowd starts to open up and the people start to see things happening. And they start to see these two people standing there, the woman and Jesus. And because she touched him with faith, he felt it. Here's my point. We are always asking Jesus to touch us, ask God to bless us, touch us and everything. But my question to you is this. When was the last time that you touched God and he felt it? Well, you said we can't touch him physically, but I can tell you how we can touch him. You can touch him with your heart. You can touch him in your spirit. You can touch him with your praise. You can touch him with your worship. You can touch him with your heart. You can touch him with the righteousness that's in you. We hit to stop always asking God to help touch us, but God is waiting on us to touch him. Sometimes barriers might get in the way that you can't get to him. Those are all things that are creating circumstances for you to be closer to him so that you can reach out and touch him. Yes, he always wants to touch you, but sometimes God wants to feel your touch. So the question again, when was the last time that you touched God and he felt it? All right? Hope this encourages you. If it does, share the video. Peace.